Hi, my name is Brian. I'm the founder of Headlamp, an app designed to help remote managers build strong, connected, and productive teams. Let me show you around. So you're logged in here as a manager, Raymond Holt, and at a glance, Headlamp is already helping you get a sense for what's on your plate this week. We can see you've got a one-on-one with Amy today. Looks like there are some incomplete takeaways from a previous one-on-one you'll want to review. And you can see that you've got a one-on-one with Charles later this week, as well as a meeting with the whole team on Friday. Further down, you can see your team's check-ins. Check-ins are a focused email that Headlamp sends once per week to simply ask your team members, how are you doing? Red, yellow, or green. This is based off the work of Jerry Colonna, and as you can see, it makes it easy to look for trends and keep a pulse on how your team is feeling. Headlamp also runs some calculations in the background to bring attention to team members who might be in need of some additional support, and it also gives the team member a chance to add some context to why they responded the way they did. And below our check-ins, we see a list of incomplete takeaways from all of your meetings, which creates a nice primary to-do list here to be sure you're keeping yourself and your team accountable to your conversations. Let's go ahead and dig into one of these meetings we saw earlier. You can see that Headlamp is alerting us to these incomplete takeaways from a previous meeting with Amy. Let's see what's going on there before this meeting begins. Something you'll notice as we bring up this meeting's details is that Amy's check-ins appear here as well. Again, to give you that at-a-glance context for how this team member has been doing as you're preparing for or conducting this one-on-one. So we have a couple of agenda items ready to discuss. No current takeaways yet because this meeting hasn't actually occurred. But what about these incompletes? We want to be sure we're keeping our word to Amy, so let's take a look. Now what's going on here is that these takeaways are actually from the previous occurrence of this meeting. Headlamp rolls forward any takeaways that aren't marked complete, just to make sure nothing falls through the cracks from week to week. Okay, make an intro to Helen and marketing. Okay, we did that introduction, so that is complete. Discuss professional development with HR. Done. That's going to start in the next quarter. So let's mark that as complete and add it as an agenda item to update Amy. Great, we're all set. Now let me show you how it looks on Amy's side. You'll notice that she can see her manager's agenda items and takeaways as well. That's, of course, intentional so that you and your team are creating a shared agenda together. As a manager, you are able to edit and complete your direct reports items for the sake of efficiency, but a report can only edit their own items. Everyone also has a section for private notes, visible only to them. Something that remote teams often struggle with is remembering who is in what time zone. Headlamp lets everyone set their current time zone and then gives you a way to see where everyone is and if it's inside of their typical working hours. And I also built this into the meeting scheduler as well. So if I create a new meeting, it will let me know how far behind or ahead of the team member I am and at what time the meeting will occur in their time zone, just to be sure I'm tweaking it to put it within regular working hours. Now, we looked at a specific meeting with Amy earlier, but something else that Headlamp will help you see is the complete history of agenda items and takeaways with someone on your team. So here we can see our next meeting with Amy as well as all of our previous meetings. Now, that can be a lot to skim through, and maybe there's a particular talking point that you're trying to find. Well, we can just search for it here, and Headlamp will filter them all down for you. That's Headlamp. I hope you loved it, and thanks for watching.